Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Pundit. I'm Josh Anthony. This is your Wrexham latest news and update show, the WREXfast Club, with a little bit of transfer news in there, too. And we're also going to sneak in a little bit of preview for the big game on Thursday, the Hollywood game that everyone's calling it, which annoys the absolute shit out of me. But anyways, hope y'all coming in. As you can see on the thumbnail today, says rumor versus reality, and everyone likes a good rumor. Everyone loves a good reality show, me being one of them as well. But there's something brewing here, and I don't think it's going to be in our favor. I love the transfer window. I want this one to be right. And as you get on the thumbnail, it's Ryan Longman. And Aaron's in the house. Hey, compadre. How are you, Aaron? If you're around, you want to pop in and have your say, my friend, on this rumor, because if you're not in the Discord, by the way, you are absolutely missing out, because it was all day long about what's going on behind the scenes, about the transfer rumors, about the game, about Longman, about everything else that's going on, which is great. Free Discord, by the way. Our Discord is free. You just got to come in and pop right in. It's a good chat and some really great people in there. But I'll have my say on the Ryan Longman. I checked out a couple videos this morning, and everyone's awesome when they're having the YouTube videos. I'm awesome on my clips and YouTube videos playing football. Trust me. I went from like the stages of grief this morning. And yesterday we woke up and initially, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like obviously 8 hours behind. I usually wake up at like 2 in the morning, sometimes 2. But I woke up yesterday to the Dalby news, which looks to be happening. He played last night, and according to Matt at Race Car, said he played like pants, which I'm not surprised. Don't get injured, son. Come back and all that stuff. But so I didn't watch the game, but he didn't score anyways. So he did that. So that was the news yesterday. This morning I woke up and it was Ryan Longman. We're trying to hijack Oxford's deal, who still has a medical on for him today. I believe that's been reported out there too. But yeah, we're trying to hijack this deal for Ryan Longman, who plays for Hull City. I'll bring this up. I'll pull this down so we know who we're talking about here. I'll do it that way. There you go. No, we're talking. Okay. There it is. Try to muscle in Hull City to get the Oxford transfer agreement. So I went through the stages of grief this morning. Was like, oh, what? That's a pretty good signing. He's a winger. And I'll bring up his stats over here as well as we do this. You know how we do on the Local Pundit, touching buttons, all the stuff. Where is he? God damn it. There he is. There's his stats. What a handsome guy. Good lettuce on him, too. He's a left winger. He's got 9 appearances, 1 goal. That's great. Can play across the 3 up front. He's in attacking position. He looks like a good player. I like the player. I like the makeup of it. I think we're getting used. Here's my say again. I think we might be getting used, and that's just what I'm thinking here. This was out there too. There's a little bit of flashes of him. You could see them there. He's number 16, Johnny on the spot right there. How to be. Plays on the left and the right. Look at him. He cuts in on his right. Nice curl. I mean, I like all of it. I do like all of it. And then Patty said it right there. We need to have Longman because McClean will be out for two games soon. I put it in there too. On that note, Macca is 1 card away from sitting 2 games. And I'm going to talk about the Macca story today that came out about, trying to protect McClean and all that stuff too. But listen, this guy looks like a player. I like it. I like the makeup of it. So here's my rumor versus reality. Awesome rumor. This is a great rumor. We're going to play it on every single portion of it too. And as you see him play up there too. It looks like a nice player. Versus the reality, where does he fit into our team? Do you think he'll play left wing back? Think he'll play right wing back? I don't know. I don't think so. He doesn't look like a wing back to me. He's a winger. To me, he looks like a winger. He's played for the Oxford manager before. The medical is still on. If we try to muscle in and get him, I like it. I like the signing. I don't see it happening. And don't shoot the messenger because I want it to happen. But we got to be honest here on the Local Pundit. That's what we do. We have to be honest. I want the player. Look, he's playing at Millwall. There we go. On the left. Nice feet. Look at this. Cut in. Bang. That is a beautiful goal. This kid can play. And to be honest, I'd play him. I'd be there. I'd go out and get him. And these are only clips. I understand that. But he looks like a player. He looks like a player that would be useful for us. Someone who we don't have. And to Patty's point back about Macca doesn't do this anymore. Macca is 36, 37 years old. And this guy, although Macca plays left wing back, this kid's a winger. This kid is a winger. And I would love to play 4-3-3, 4-3-2-1 and do that. But I don't see it happening. Please, would it happen? I would love for it to happen, but I don't think it's happening. And my final thought on all of this here is I think we're getting played. I think we're getting played again. We are apparently in from the summer. We looked at them, but I think we're getting played. I think this is another thing where, hey, Wrexham might be in. I mean, look at the headlines here. I mean, look at the freaking headlines. The headlines are literally written, our updated merch says Wrexham to try to muscle in on Hull City, Oxford, United transfer fee. Could be just to raise up the price for him or whatever, get new wages on him. These guys are clever and smart. They're agents. I've had agents for years as an actor. They're out there to get the better deal for their client. And you know what? I would do the same thing. I'd want them to do that too. I'd want them to go out there and do that. But listen, Wrexham made a late move for hijack Oxford United's move for Hull City, Ryan Longman, although he still seems likely to join the championship outfit. Wouldn't you want to go to the championship? The 24-year-old future at Hull was in doubt, and his contract is expiring in the summer, whilst the boss, Ruben Sellas, would be looking to bring in on his own new signings. Here's the transfer, 500,000 quid. That's pretty good numbers. I think we paid that for Mo Fall. But here's the other thing, too. You bring someone in like this, does Parkinson play him? Does he fit in our system? I don't see it. I really don't see it. And I'm not trying to kill dreams, but rumor versus reality. The reality is he's a great player. And I'm starting to think if we're starting to miss out on players, it might be because they're talking and saying, hey, you're going to come in, you're not going to start. You're not going to play. You're in the system, whatever it is. And January is hard as it is. But, $500,000, not much. It's not much considering the scheme of the league and the money you can go out there and spend on players. We were talking about 2 M's, 2.5 M's. I'm starting to believe that it may be because we're not getting these. He might still come over the line unless he's holding up. When he's holding up the shirt, then we do it. We get concrete. It's about style of play, Parkinson, and committing to get it out of the way he wants to play. That's it. But also it takes 3 sides to get this done. It takes the player. It takes both teams to commit. Let's see what happens. Oxford still has a medical on the books. I think it was today. But he looks like a good player. And very 24 with a stretch mark of 2 M's. I like it, says Kim. But what say you? Get into the chat. Let's see what you say there too. I'm going to get into what everyone's saying. Hey, Marie from SoCal, how are you? I will see you in 48 hours, my friend. I'll see you in 48 hours. Esteban's in here. Esteban is in here. Working, but he's listening. Right now, Aaron is upside down welding, and he's like doing this. And he's got the headphones in, and he's listening to us. He's got it welding. Fixed his Mrs. car this weekend. I mean, an absolute legend. So how are you? And this is another thing we need to talk about, Patty. Talk about Macca and having him being swapped down to the sub and bringing Rev in, because we've been saying this for weeks, you, me, and Ken and Aaron, and anyone that's been on the show to listen, that we've been saying that you gotta get Rev some minutes because Macca is he's a liability. He's a liability because he's gonna be out, and then you're just gonna bring Rev in and be like, hey, go do your thing. You know what I mean? So there you go. Goofy Splat said, I watched the Dundee game last night. Dalby did absolutely nothing. He probably walked around and said, don't get injured. He said, don't get injured. That's what it is. But I'm so on the fence, and I so want to say things about Dalby, but I'm so frustrated that I'll say something that I'll regret, and then I'll be mad at myself. Use Rev for fuck's sake. There he is. And Kim says Ryan Longman, very good, 24 with a transfer market value, 2 M's. Yep. And I know Patty's in the background too. If you wanted to pop in and have his say as well, always welcome. They have the keys to this thing here too. But it is Ken's show. It is Ken's show. I'm just kidding. Steve Barton gifted 1 local pundit membership. Someone get their hands on it. While it's hot, we got a big week coming up. So get that membership, help support the club. And I got an update. I had a meeting this morning about getting live stats going for the shows. I saw it. It looks great. And I think I'm going to do it. It might be up by Thursday, but I got live rotating stats that could be coming on. Met with a nice dude this morning, and it looks like we could be getting live rolling stats up there through the game while we're watching the watch longs. So good stuff to be determined, but we're there. Mac is 136 years old, says Steve Barton. No, I get it. Still no Dalby confirmation. That's right. I agree. And Kim says he could take Dalby's place. Okay. I definitely like the caliber of player. Talking about Ryan Longman. We're shooting for player. We're shooting for. I like the player where we're shooting for, even if we don't get him. Sorry, it's something. I apologize. I agree with that. It's a talented player who I'd like to get after, and I'm sure everyone in our community and every Wrexham supporter would want to do that. But I don't see that player playing in our system. I don't. I'd like to make it happen. I want it to happen. Trust me. I'm out. I'm in. I'm all in. Aaron is always upside down. Yes, he is. And then it's Jon Merrell, who I'm betted in to have a quick chin wag about the game on Thursday. If he wants to pop in, he has the link as well. And Kim actually was the one that received the membership, which is great. Sorry. Aaron says Dalby looked like Dalby, but he's scoring this season. I don't blame the club for bringing him back, but not convinced he'll be a game changer. I don't agree either. I think it's very, very weak sauce. I think for us to not go and spend money, although we have 6 strikers that aren't doing bits, even though JM just came back, bringing the Dalby back to me is just absolutely just astounding. But I'll back him. I'll back him until I'm like, are you shitting me, Clark? It ain't happening. So that's it. So the latest news right now is the Ryan Longman. Don't see it happening. I think he has great potential. I think he's awesome. Also, too, want to give a big shout out. This is not my data, just FYI. I want a big shout out to REXXG Data Analytics on X. He does fantastic work here. He has put together a beautiful display of how he shapes up shots per 90, all this stuff. He does really great work. Mullen, Marriott, and Longman. And it says potential Wrexham AFC signing Ryan Longman has played 31% of his career games as a striker, according to Y Scout. So here's the comparisons right here for 24-25. Jack Marriott is in blue, Paul Mullins in red, and Ryan Longman's in green. I mean, that's, if you look at the shape of the chart, it's pretty awesome. Go check this out. But it says that, obviously this guy's a real player. And also, too, he did do another comparison here of him against Barnett, Macca, and Longman. So those are the 3 right here. Go check that out. REXG, I think it is. If I'm getting it right, I don't know if he's in the chat, but this is really good data. The analytics are great. And going there and looking at some of the data is awesome. Sometimes, the eye test for watching somebody is always like, oh shit, he's a great player. But the eye test here is just strictly by pure data. I see John in the background. How are you, my friend? Give me the double thumbs up. Oh, you give me the double guns and said, yeah, he flipped me off twice. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm going to bring him in because we're going to talk some football and we're going to talk about the game. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me just bring this down. No one really wants to see all of my face, but we'll just try to do it that way. Any thoughts on this player? Actually, you like it this way? I don't know. Yeah, you go. There you go. We'll leave it like that. Any thoughts on this player, Longman, and what's going on in the market and all this shit? Because you guys just sold somebody today, by the way. You did.
Yeah, Josh Williams, young kid. Not really played ever for us. So.
Yeah. Any good? Is he any good?
To be fair, I always liked him as a young kid coming through. Thought he had potential. I think the new ownership and everything that came in kind of probably put pay to any career he had with us because he was never probably going to be good enough to where we're going. So, yeah, wish him well. I think he'll do really well. He's gone to, is it Carlisle, where they're in League 2? Yeah, League 2.
Yep. What position did he play? Just out of curiosity. I know we're not.
He's naturally a right back, but he also can play right wing back as well. I mean, he has played. I think he did play one game at left back and had a shocker, to be honest.
Okay. if we're going to be honest, There you go. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we've been talking about. Obviously, we'll get into the game in a little bit too. And thanks for coming on. Always welcome to have other teams that support in there. That's what the local pundit's all about too. And I'll actually drop this in there too. People have a chat today. Feeling very generous today. The Ryan Longman rumors. Do you think we're getting used? I mean, he's a good player. I don't know much about him. You have your say about it? Or you think I have a follow-up question, but I want to get your initial thoughts on that.
I'll be honest, Longman, I wouldn't be too fussed whether you got him or not. If I was you guys, he's a journeyman player. He is what he is. No frills, hard worker, not particularly exceptional, but will give you 7 out of 10 every game. There's always sort of been around lower Championship, upper League One, I think. But I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Oxford, because I think I saw Oxford rumoured as where he was potentially going. Rowett, of course, the manager at Oxford, had him at Millwall, I think. So, and Rowett is one of those managers where he's really loyal to players that he's had before. So it wouldn't surprise me if the player does go down there.
Yeah, and that's what I've said. The rumor versus reality stuff. I'm just like, I mean, 2 + 2 = 4. If we're trying to go in and do it, we're going to play over the odds, probably to get him a better wage. You know, he's played for the manager before. The medical's already set. It might be too late. So, you know, I like
yeah,
you know.
Do you really need him?
I don't think he has a place in the team. That's my issue, you know.
I mean, he's naturally a right-sided midfielder, isn't he? I think so. Is he going to replace Barnett?
Yeah, he's not going to replace Barnett. And someone came up with something earlier. I'll give Matt credit to this too. Earlier said, you know, is Barnett going to go? I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be. I don't think that's happening. You know, someone to come in to take Barney's job. I doubt that's what's happening. Also, too, we have Ravon. He will not drop Macca unless he's forced to. And you know, I look at him. I'm like, he's a winger. He's not a wing back. He's a winger, and he cuts in on his right when he plays on the left. And you know, he played kind of in the middle when he was up on the other side. So I don't see it happening. Do we need him? Probably. By the way, Aaron said you can consider him a journeyman at 24.
Well, he's been around, hasn't he? He's been one of those. He's been one of those footballers that's been around the league for a while, but never really stepped on, shall we say? He's always been sort of consistent, but never exceptional, shall we say?
Yeah. And again, James Lee, Oxford doing his medical right now is the last update I saw. Yeah, I think we're getting played, and I honestly think that this is just how it's going to go. It's frustrating. It really is. It really is frustrating.
I mean, the other aspect you also need to consider is you might not have genuine interest in him. The agent of the player may be using Wrexham to drive up a better contract at Oxford, possibly. It happened to a lot of us in the summer. We were linked to a lot of players which we had no interest in, but it was agents just getting them a better deal to the club they were going to. So,
it's always, you know, that's what we're going to get. I mean, you guys are a big club. You know, you have big owners, and you guys are ambitious. You want to go right back up. I think that's I genuinely think that's what's happening here. I also want to put this out to you too. Do you think that we're missing out on players? We're missing out on players because of Parkinson and his style and his commitment to you know, how I'm going to play, not changing his ways.
It's a tough one. I think you possibly are missing out on players that don't fit your style. I think obviously Parkinson's style and the way he has set up his team hasn't changed pretty much throughout his whole career. Yeah. So it does kind of put you in a certain category of player. Are those players readily available in January? I mean, is any particular category of player readily available in January? Is the big question. So you're probably shopping in quite a niche market in that regard. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't say you're probably missing out on players. Are you finding it difficult to find players to fit Parkinson in the style? Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I'm seeing, you start to see a little bit of pattern. You know what I mean? You start to follow a club long enough and you see what's going on. You start to see a pattern, especially when it comes to this club for sure. Steve Barton, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Shout out to John, even if he doesn't want to admit it, that Wrexham is his second favorite team. Thanks for the super chat, Steve. He doesn't want to look at that smile. It's a wry smile there. I think he's it.
You can't have second teams. Don't start.
says me, right? Says me. I love it. Just want to get a little bit of the chat here. What's up, folks? Getting back for being down with COVID the last 5 days. I hope you're all right, man. Hope Longman thing works out, though I'm scared that it won't, and then we'll be stuck with no new signings. I don't think this is going to work out. Again, reality versus rumor, and I think, you know, I'm so hesitant right now. If the Dalby thing's coming back, I think we missed out on Smith. I want to get your thought on Smith, and before you go on those two things there.
I'll be honest. I thought you would get Smith.
Really,
I mean, if there was a player which I thought had Parkinson written
all
all
over it,
over
right?
him,
Yeah.
it was Smith. And all right, Michael Smith is not particularly great in Championship level, but League One level, the guy is a goal machine. He's proven that in his previous time with Rotherham and Sheffield Wednesday. The guy scores goals at this
Yeah.
level. He's big, he's strong. Yeah, he's not particularly mobile, but he is what he is.
Hmm.
So I kind of thought, yeah, he's out of contract. I know Sheffield Wednesday owner never sells players.
Hmm.
He's just a weirdo. Um, but I did think maybe you guys might make an offer too good to refuse. You might still do, but as
Yeah.
soon as that news about Dolby came back in, I kind of thought, well, that
So
to me suggests Smith's not coming then.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'm a bit, like I said, I'm a bit surprised because I don't see Smith getting a move to a Championship club again. I think League One's probably going to be his next stop, in his career. Why wouldn't you go to Wrexham if you're him?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of rumor there, and you're right. I agree with you 100%. It was like on paper, this is the signing that Parkey would get. 6'4", been in the league, 33 years old. Lump up front. I mean, just where do I sign? That's
Mm.
what he wants. And hopefully he doesn't shoot us in the foot. But I totally agree with that. I want to give a big shout out to Sarah Pritchard. Sarah, I hope you're well. We're thinking about you and happy to have you back in the chat. Okay. Hi, the big cat. I am the big. Yeah, there you go. Sean Bartlett Evans. Someone knows my nickname. Wow, that's interesting. Interesting. All right. You want to move on to our game, or you want to talk about this Maca thing first? You tell me.
What's the Macca thing?
You haven't. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is kind of going into our game, so we'll do the Maca thing
Okay.
first. This is Parkinson talking about him not getting enough protection from. So I'll just give you the quotes here. So essentially, you know who Maca is. Obviously, he's a shit house all over the place, and which is good. But it says Parkinson said, "I just feel that because of his level of abuse he gets is something I never witnessed for a player. He's a great lad, and human nature that occasionally will spill over in him. Going back to the Barnsley game, Birmingham away are obviously the other day. That is difficult for anyone to deal with, but." He's a tough character. He is focusing on what he has to do on the pitch, which I, by the way, said he did not focus on last game in the Shrewsbury match. You probably didn't watch it, but he played through the crowd and he was being a pantomime there. Going into our game, he is one yellow card away from having another suspension, which will be 10 and sitting 2 matches. What and it'll lead into our game. What do you think there? What do you think?
I don't agree with obviously the things being thrown at him and all that sort of stuff, but the other part of it is you reap what you sow, and unfortunately for him, it's not a Wrexham thing; it's a James McClean thing. It's followed him his entire career. He's never ever tried to, shall we say, quieten it down, do anything different. I suppose he's always been the villain of the piece, and he's always been keen to live up to that side of it. So unfortunately, he is what he is exactly what you get. So
Yeah,
I'm a bit surprised Parkinson's come out and said that. I mean, because at
me
McClean at
too.
his stage of his career, because it's like, no, let's be honest, nothing's going to change now.
No,
if,
no.
if anything, it's going to antagonize fans even more so that the managers come out, because clearly it's had some sort of effect either on the team, the player, or the management, that he's felt the need to come in the press and say that. And like you said, one booking away from 2 games. Within 5 minutes on Thursday, the first thing I'm telling to any of our players is kick him. See what happens.
See what happens. Yeah. And that's what honestly, you're right. Go get a little dark. Who's he going to be up against? Who's he going to be matching up against in that?
He plays left wing back, doesn't he?
Yeah, left wing back. Yep.
Yeah. It will either be Scott Wright, who started on right side of midfield against Exeter, or it'll be Keshi Anderson, because he's back fit. But I would say it's probably likely to be Wright. I don't think Anderson will start the game. But Scott Wright will be a problem for him, because Scott Wright has got blistering pace. I don't think I think he was injured when we played you early in the season.
Who did he kick? Is that the guy he kicked right off the bat? He kicks. Was that your game, or was that a different? Maybe it was a posh game. I think it was a posh game. He kicked someone literally like a minute in. He did it, and somebody went off injured. Was that our last game, or was that the posh?
No, it wasn't our game. No, I
Yeah.
don't think he. So no, but yeah, Scott Wright will probably be up against him. Who will just Scott Wright is direct and he's pacey. He will just run at Maka. He will just get the ball head down and he will just run at him and say, "You're either going to have to foul me or you're going to have to tackle me," and he will do that constantly.
Beer bet. What minute does the yellow card come? First half, second half? What do you got?
What, for anyone or for him?
For him, yeah, for him.
It wouldn't surprise me if he got booked in the first 20 minutes, and then I don't think he'll get sent off or anything silly like that. He's too much of an experienced old pro. He'll get booked in the first 20 minutes for me, and then play a fairly solid, uneventful game for the rest of the game.
Yeah, which would
the way I see it.
Play right into their hands, which is what we did for the Shrewsbury game. You know, Sarah Pritchard says 25th minute. I was going to say 23rd minute. I said 23rd minute there. But on that too, groupie spot, lighters and coins being thrown at the Shrewsbury fan. Yeah, that's unacceptable. But I think he was uncharacteristically talking to the crowd from what I saw the other day. You know, just want to give a quick shout out. Thanks, Josh. Really can't walk, but I'm alive. Happy to hear that, Sarah, and happy to have you back. I love that too. And Hip Karma's also in the house. Moving on, talking about the game. How do you guys feeling good? Obviously, top of the league, flying. You know, good teams win games that they shouldn't win. You know, Exeter, they didn't have a shot on goal, or you guys didn't have a shot. One of the two. So, but it's
we're just a bit of a winning machine these days. We've got a lot of injury problems, which I think a lot of people on your channel might not have picked up on, but we're missing our two main midfielders. Look like they're going to be out for against you. So Paik and Awata are both injured. We have essentially been without wingers for the last. No, Stansfield came back against Exeter, but we've been Hansen's injured, who's our sort of normal left-sided winger. Anderson, who has been on fire for us, he's probably been, before his injury, he had like a run of about 5-6 games where he just scored or assisted in every single game. He's been injured since I think it's like Burton on the 29th of December, but he's back fit for this game. So we aren't full strength. We're nowhere near full strength, to be honest. But our squad is so strong that yes, you will probably notice it that we might not be as fluid, but we are still very good. And the one thing I would say is our defence is, I think we got the best defensive record in the league now, but I think the thing that separates us from most is our XG against figure is something ridiculous, which basically means people don't get near our box, let alone a shot. And the defence is fully fit, and we've not really had many injuries in defence. It's mainly been the other end of the pitch. So yeah, quietly confident, I would probably explain myself.
Quite confident. Yeah, you got to go and play the game and do it. Please tell me Iwata is out. Iwata is out. Is that true?
It appears so, yes. Paik was definitely confirmed as being out by the manager today, and he said Iwata was most likely out. So whether he's playing a bit of mind games, I don't know. Because against Exeter, it was Iwata was definitely out. Paik might make it, and neither of them made it. So yeah, our manager doesn't strike me as one to play mind games, to be fair. So I would hold him true to his word where he said Paik's definitely out and Iwata is most likely to be out.
Okay. And then obviously Ethan Laird right back. He'll be going up against Barney. He's speedy. Who's the number 18 guy? The big is it 8? He's a lot.
Thor, as we call him, Williamson. Yeah, he's injured, so he won't be playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
He looks at a player there too. I'm just looking at your side right here too. Mark Leonard, Williamson. Williamson, is that his name? Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys have a little. I mean, so if we're gonna spin it on our end, do you think it's a good time to be playing? I mean, it's never really a good time to play you, to be honest. You know what I mean? Yeah, there really isn't.
I would say because we're away.
Yeah.
I think the only problem that I would say, if you were a ball playing team, say, I don't know, a bit more like a Peterborough or say a Wigan who like to play a bit more possession football, I would say maybe it could be a good time to play us because our midfield is not at its strongest. But you guys are on the more direct side. Our defence is the same as it has been pretty much all season. And we are a big, strong bunch at the back there. I mean, I'm not 100% sure Laird will start because Bielik is back He was back from injury, and we've been doing this kind of 3 centre backs thing, not a 3-5-2 or whatever you want to call it. It's been a bit strange where Bielik, who is naturally actually a defensive midfielder, but this season he's been moved to a centre back. He's played right back in a few games. So what we tend to do is when we have the ball, Bielik, Clara, and Ben Davis act as a back 3, and Cochrane, who's our left back, would then join in midfield and play as almost like a secondary winger. So because it's away from home against a side that are in the top 3, our manager may decide to go a bit more conservative and say, okay, well, Ethan Laird's a brilliant attacking fullback. Maybe I'd be a bit more conservative and play Bielik and Laird on the bench. I don't know. I mean, Laird's been fantastic recently. So,
you know where he came from, right?
Yeah. I picked him up for 750,000. Absolute steal.
Yeah.
No idea how he did that.
I don't know why they let him go. I was like, he's a player. He's a real player. United, he came through the cat. He's a really good player. And young, 22, 23 years old, but just had something about him. He's a really
the only problem he's had is his hamstring injuries have followed him for I think the last 5 years. So I mean, he got injured for us last season in the Championship. He started off and he was like, a lot of people were saying he's the best fullback in the division. Then he got injured and was out for like 2-3 months, and then struggled to come back, got injured, and it's when he's on it, he's on it. But
hamstrings always. If guys and gals have hamstring, they just keep coming, you know. But then you look at a player like who's the guy that he's at Barcelona, Dembele, you know. He had hamstring injuries like breadsticks, you know, and then all of a sudden now he's just, you know, maybe it's a growth spurt, things like that. It would happen. He's a good player. I like him. So one if he doesn't one needed to look out for too. On the other side of things, if you're looking at us, you know, looking at Wrexham, you see anything, by the way, Hip Karma, yes, please like and subscribe. Anything that you see that scares you? Obviously, I think we are kind of predictable as what we're going to do. Like, you can predict the lineup right now. I mean, you really could, you know. But yeah, what do you think?
I would say that set pieces, corners. I think there'll be definitely an emphasis on you guys. That'll be not a weakness, but that'll be an area I think you will target as saying, you know, we can get at them here. Fletcher. I remember Fletcher in his heyday for Wolves and stuff like that, always scored against us. Quality player. Just, you know, he is 38, isn't he? So, you know, the legs aren't there anymore. But if the ball's at his feet or is his head mainly in that 6-yard box, you guarantee it's going to be there or thereabouts. So, we'll have to pay close attention to him if he gets on the pitch, or when he gets on the pitch, shall we say.
Yeah, well, we'll be paused right there. I know you're in the middle of time, but this was something that came up today, which leads me to believe that I don't think he's going to be starting. So Parkinson was talking about, you know, how he did start. He basically said, I just felt over the Christmas period, the 45 minutes against Barnsley, that Fletcher's ready to start. I didn't want to leave him on for 90 minutes, but he came through okay and was a brilliant goal, which is against Shrewsbury. He gets a lot of cross in the box, a lot of quality. We need someone who can stick it in the back of the net. He said it was a great move, but, you know, I don't see him starting 2 matches in a row. Granted, so I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know what's going on with Palmer, but Parkinson felt the need to come out and say something about him starting that match, which leads me to believe, you know, I'm wondering what he's trying to mind game out there, because I don't think Fletch can start another game, in my opinion.
No, I mean, I think it's hard, isn't it? You see a player like Fletcher and you see him play. I mean, I watched your game against Shrewsbury and I thought Fletcher won everything in the air, absolutely everything.
Yeah.
But he is that 20-minute, 30-minute player, because after that 20, 30-minute, his influence on the game does seem to go. But I mean, he's 38, isn't he? And you know, I suppose you guys would all love him to play 90 minutes every week. But I
want a younger version of him to play 90 minutes. I actually think he's, and this sounds counterintuitive, I don't think he's a starter, you know, because of he can't, you know, he's an impact player at his age. He can't continue to put that much fight in for 90 minutes. You just lose him. He did score, but get him on for the last 15, 20 and he's going to score. I think we have a major problem up front, and getting the ball in the major problem up front. Like, and it's weird because we have 6 players. They're all not doing anything, you know, but we'll see what happens in the game. Yeah,
but you have almost 2 types of striker, don't you? You have the big target man, and then you have the not little man, but you know what I mean. Yeah. There's not an in between, or there's not there's not anything different. You've got essentially two types, and it's, like you said, if it's not Palmer, it's Fletcher, or if it's not Mullin, it's Marriott. It's like there's not any change, there's not any difference. If a team is defending the style or what you're doing very well, realistically, change the personnel is not really going to make a difference, because you're not going to change how you play.
Yep. Webby says, who's a supporter of, he says that Wada is out. Okay. So he is that. I don't know. He's probably getting that, but he knows better than I would, and probably you as well, because you guys would support the team. So he is out. Okay, well, that's good for us. Listen, never a time to play you guys. You guys are good. I'm hoping. I agree with this. I think Marriott's got to start. I think Marriott can come in. He scored against you last time, but then after we scored, you guys just totally.
Yeah, I can't see him starting personally.
Really?
No, I don't think he'll risk him this soon after coming back from the injury. He's not going to want to risk him from 90 from the start in case of it's just going to be too much load on him. I think you'll probably find that he'll make sort of gradual, longer increment appearances, like last 20 minutes, last half an hour, until he gets a start. I think if he was to start on Thursday, that would, to me, suggest that actually not desperation, but that would be almost a little bit of a panic that you brought a guy that's broke his leg, who's only just been back, straight into the side. It's not the thing you do. It's like one of those where if he starts him against us on Thursday, say Marriott goes down with an injury 20 minutes in, muscle injury or something, I'm sure you guys as fans would straight afterwards go, why the hell has he started a player that's just come back from injury?
Yep, I agree. And this is me talking with both sides of my ass. I want him to start, but I want the healthy version to start. But I want, in hindsight, I'm like, it's probably not a good idea. But I think he you're so Paul Mullen, and I know you watched some of the game. Paul Mullen is whatever's going on, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You guys must come not fearing us at the Stoke, which is weird because we have a fantastic record at home. You must come not fearing what's going to happen.
I'll be honest. With the squad and the money we spent this season, we don't really fear anyone, and nor should we, really. I think when you spend the amount of money we have, you kind of have to not fear anyone, because otherwise you've not spent it well, have you? No, I wouldn't say we would fear. I would say we know it's going to be a damn hard game. We're not just going to turn up and roll you over or anything like that. Everyone, it's the same every week for us. Every week is every team's cup final that we play. We could play away at North. It's it's a bit of a running joke within our fan base. You see who we play, and they play really well. They're up for it, and they might narrowly miss out, or we beat them and that. And then you see the next game, and they just get flattened by, like, I don't know, Barnsley or something. And you just go, well, they were so good against us. So it's that whole raise your game against us, and then it's that come down afterwards. They go in the next game and just get rolled over by a mid-table sort of upper team. So we don't fear anyone, but I think even our manager said, anyone who thinks every game's going to be easy doesn't know football. So
exactly, every game has its own story to tell. That's why you play the game. It's interesting enough, like you say about going, you crush some teams. We don't do that. We are grinding. We are grinding. And granted, I think can we call it a 6-pointer? I don't know.
Not really, no. If I'm being honest, I think if we were level games, yes, it would be
level games.
But I think, if we were level games, then yes, it would be a 6-pointer. But for us, it's kind of. If you offered us a draw, I think we'd probably go, okay, then not great, not brilliant, but not the end of the world. We've got you guys away, then we've got Huddersfield away on Tuesday. So it's kind of it's a twofold thing. It's if you probably offered us 2 draws in those 2 games, status quo, we've got games in hand, we move on. Or the other side of it is you win both those games. Is it over? Is no one catching us then? I don't know. But
talk to me after the game, by the way. Because I'm putting us on a lot of pressure after the Shrewsbury loss. It's a must win. For us, I think I know it's early doors, but like, holy shit, you cannot drop points, in my opinion. to Sheffield. Sorry, not Sheffield, to Shrewsbury. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. But quickly, I just want to give a quick shout out to Marie from SoCal, who were with me live at the Cosm. See you. Thank you for the super chat. See you at the Cosm, Josh. It's an amazing place. Yes, I will see you there. And the drinks are on me. There you go. Good to see you. But no, going on that too. I feel like we have to beat you guys. I just feel like, or else we might spiraling in our own sense. I know it's maybe it's a little, high low, but I think that's
not necessarily. I think had Huddersfield beaten Blackpool on the weekend and not Drew, then I would probably agree with you and say I think you probably would need to beat us. I think your season is not going to be defined with what you do against us in all realistic terms.
I've definitely said that before. I'm talking more like a mental thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think if you play really well and you get, say, a 1-1 or 2-2 draw against us, I think you might sort of we didn't win at home, but you would probably say, well, we've took Birmingham, we've got a point, we've played really well, we've got the Shrewsbury defeat out of our system. It gives you a platform then to go on. Okay, well, we've just held the league leaders. Let's go from there. I mean, it's like we lost to Shrewsbury. I mean, it was a dreadful day, dreadful performance, dreadful everything. But I think we won 8 games on the spin after that loss. Yep. So you've got to have that reaction. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure I would classify it as a must win for you guys. I would say it's probably a must not lose, if I'm honest.
It's a must not. Okay, but that's a better statement. It's a must not lose the game.
Yeah.
For a couple things. For like our how we're looking and dropping points last week and then this week, and then how we're going to look forward to bounce back stuff, because our fans are fickle, that we kick every goddamn ball, so I'm hoping to avoid that. By the way, I'm hoping to avoid that, but I must not lose sounds better than must win. It's a tough league. It's a really tough league, but you guys are sitting pretty good, and
It's funny you say it's a tough league, because if you ask most Birmingham fans, it's a terrible league. From a quality point of view. I mean, I've watched a bit of League One over the years.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I have it written down right here that I will reveal at the end of the season. But as you say that, there you go.
I think compared to previous years, the quality of League One, overall quality of League One, is really bad. I don't see there's a lot of good teams. I think you look at the top 8 or even top 6, and even then some of those teams are very hot and cold, and then you go below that and then it's just dross. I'm not going to lie. It's just
there's a lot of Sunday football going on. There really is a lot. There really is. I would say you're probably right. Birmingham, Wickham, Wrexham, Huddersfield, Barnsley, Stockport, Reading, Bolton, Leighton, Mansfield, Charlton. Would you go down that far? I don't know. I mean, that's
it's going to sound stupid because Charlton beat us, but I've seen them quite a few times. They're tosh, to be honest. Really? Leighton Orient were one of the better teams we've played this season. They look pretty good. Mansfield, I mean, they're tough to beat at home, but they're not great, are they? To be honest. It's just. I think it's one of those leagues where everyone can beat everyone, but there's just a lot of dross in the lower leagues where it could be anything, and then you see some teams, and I mean, Lincoln notoriously have been quite a strong side in this league over previous seasons. I mean, they've just really struggled this season.
I like their striker, Camarati. What's his name? Camarati? Is that his name?
He's the son of the other guy. I know the one you mean. He's on loan, isn't he, from Sheffield Wednesday?
He is. I like him. I was a player. I was like, he'd be a good it'd be Parkman player. But I like to make. I think he's 6'2", 6'3". Has a little bit of anger to him. I like that. In striker. But you're right. Lincoln. It's like 12th place right now, and
they fancy their chances of a top 6 finish because I think they just missed out on the top 6 last season. I mean, they're not a terrible side, but I think that's. I suppose this is. It's going to sound the arrogant side of Birmingham. Obviously, being in the Championship where your teams in 21st and 20th on their day could beat 3rd, 4th, and 1st. If you don't get that in this league. The gulf is just huge.
I say it's a rock'em sock'em league. You know what I mean? Like you can get knocked out or knock someone out. Does it? But then there's games where it's like, but the quality does come up. But it's a rock'em sock'em league. It really is. That's the way I look at it. With some decent players around there too. Decent players. I'm excited. Where are you gonna watch the game? You gonna come to LA and watch it with me?
I've been to LA twice in my life. Thanks. No. Sadly for me, I've got a dentist appointment like late afternoon, and then I should get home after that, just in time to watch the game. So so it'll be watching at home with a few beers, I think.
Okay, I was gonna say if you didn't have the dentist, I'm sorry, man. I hope all is well. I would say you should get into the build-up game. Ken's gonna be hosting the build-up game, and then we'll do the live watch along. And then extra time, you got to come on. You got to come on.
Yeah, I should be able to. Yeah, because I'll be home, and yeah, I'll come on no matter what the result. So not a problem.
Yeah, always, man. Awesome. It's good to have you, and I love you having you in the chat too. Just want to give a quick update too on the scores while we have you here. So right now, Bolton and Charlton are 0-0. Peterborough 0-0 against Exeter, and Wigan are 0-0 against Burton. While there too, the Asgard guy, he ain't coming to us, is he? He's not happening.
I think I mentioned it in the Discord the other day. I think he's a great prospect. He looks a really good player, and I think the natural step for him will be Championship next for him. But ultimately, I don't see where he plays in your side as a style sort of player. Yeah. I think Paddy might have mentioned it, where I look at him and think he's a very technical, very good ball playing sort of a number 10 sort of player. I don't see where you would. I mean, obviously you would play him probably in the 10. Would it suit him the way that Parkinson sets up his team and plays? I'm not so sure, if I'm honest. And if you're Asgard, and don't take this the wrong way, chat, why would you go to Wrexham when your stock is where it is? He's, Championship's where he's going to want to go next, to be honest.
Well, that's where I think personally we're missing out on players, because I think it's a style of play thing. That's what I think. I still think we'll go up, but I kind of agree with you. I'd put him in the 10 hole. I'd put him in the 10. Then you got to drop somebody, and I just know Parkinson is going to go back to his players. Elliot Lee, Matty James, Macca, all those players. Getting those players out, even having O'Connell out for Scar. I'm hoping Scar plays against you guys on Thursday. But you're right. I would love that player. But when you play O'Connell and he doesn't play the ball even to Matty James, he ain't going to play the guy to Asgard. He's not going to do it, unless it's like a total brain fart.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to, I can't remember, it was a podcast show where they had like a current manager as a guest on there, and they were talking about recruitment and the process you go through. And he was basically saying, it's not like it used to be 10, 15 years ago where I want you, we'll give you this money, come play for me. And it was kind of, that was a signed, sealed and delivered. He said, he says they want to know your team's philosophy. They want to know where you play them, what's going to be their responsibilities, what's going to be their defensive responsibilities for an attacking player's point of view. He said the attention to detail that players want to know before they sign for you nowadays, he said, compared to 10 years, it's a different ball game, which I must admit I hadn't really known or given a thought to. And it kind of opened my eyes. And I thought, if you are if you're an attacking based possession player that's played in sort of good footballing sides, you're not really going to go to I wouldn't say direct side, but you're not going to go to somebody that doesn't fit your style that you've played for the last 3-4 years. And it's the same for with regards to Asgard with going to the Championship or some of the Championship.
He just scored.
Yeah.
He just scored.
But I mean, yeah, it's like if you're a Championship side, for instance, if you're like a Stoke or I don't know, some other teams down the bottom end of the Championship, which are quite robust kind of direct sides, he'll probably look at them and go, is that the right step for me? I would imagine he'll probably want to go to somebody like a Swansea where he's going to get ball retention and play a bit of football and stuff like that. So
yeah, I love the I think the Championship is the best league in the world, in my opinion, for everything that has on the top. It might not be the best football, but it's the best quality. That is, it's the best league in the world, where it's like you have glory up above you. You have relegation means so much more. You know what I mean? So it's just, I love it. I think it's great, and I hope we're the two that go up +1. But we'll see what happens, man. Go ahead.
I mean, the championship last season, just you only got to look at us for the entertainment. Sacked our manager when we were 6th. Had 6 managers during the season, and ended up getting relegated. What other league can that happen in?
None. Wazza coming in, just being a total idiot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh god. And I love him for what he did for Manchester United. But yeah, Matt Al says Payak and Iwata are ruled out for Thursday. Keshi Anderson may be available. Things are looking up for us. It's got to be a battle, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun, but it's going to suck also watching it too. Also, you got to go to you have to go to the dentist, so it makes your day. If you lose, that's not good.
That's it. Yeah, I was going to say the funny thing is we are missing Paik and Iwata, but it does mean that Mark Leonard will finally get some game time, which everyone keeps telling me. Mark Leonard last season was the best midfielder in League One and would get into everyone else's midfield, but hasn't got hardly any minutes for us. So so.
I'm going to find him real quick so we know what we're talking about. Mark Leonard. He's a midfielder. Mark, here he is. Scottish guy. Here we go. No, we do. The touching buttons on the local button. Here's number 12, 23 years old, Scottish midfielder. There we go. This is the guy you think will get in. You like him?
Yeah. He's a quality player. We bought him from Brighton in the summer. He'd been on loan at Northampton in League 2 and then League 1, I think it was, for the last 2 seasons. I must admit I hadn't seen an awful lot of him, but a lot of the League 1 shows and all the pundits and everyone were all saying he's a championship player because he was the best midfielder in League 1 last season. And when we got him, everyone was absolutely shocked that we managed to convince him to stay in League 1. And then you kind of feel sorry for the guy, because then obviously we signed Tomoki Iwata, and basically Leonard has sat on the bench for the entire season. He played 90 minutes against Exeter, and I dare say he'll play 90 minutes on Thursday night against you guys.
Nice. And he's 6.81 coming back, 689 minutes played. I mean, good, plays up through the middle there. Let's maybe that's a shout right there. Hoping to see that too, which is awesome. But no, it's you guys are a good side. All kidding aside, I want to take one thing here. John may not have a second team, but I think he has a spot for Wrexham. Listen, here's the thing what I love about the local pundit, which is great, which I think is different from what we do here. There's a lot of channels out there and people that talk, and they sling so much mud. It's like having a conversation and being open and honest. I think that's awesome, and that's what I like to bring, and what I think even John coming in and just talking and chatting, talking football. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Which is fun. So that means a lot to me, just to do that, John, having you on and everyone else. So we really appreciate it, dude. And it's like we give each other banter and everything like that, but it's all in good fun. But I love this stuff. I love football. I love doing this, man. So thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it. So, albeit, I'm going to do it to you though. Score prediction before I get you out of here. Do a head and heart. Do a head and heart. How's that? Do a head and heart.
Okay. Right. My head is probably saying 2-1 Blues. My heart would say 2-0 Blues, but I do think we'll concede. But I do think we'll win. I think we're probably playing you at the right time. I know you had the Shrewsbury thing, but I think your form has been a bit up and down, and I think defensively you're probably at your most vulnerable right now.
Unless we make a change, we need a change. I think so.
Maybe. I think the problem is with us, we are one of those teams that you probably don't want to play when you are having a few issues. Yes, we've got a few injuries, and I know you guys don't particularly like the ball too much. You like to sort of sit back and play counter-attack. The problem is allowing us to have the ball, which I thought was the downfall in the first game, is you can't give us 69% possession, because we will get through you too many times.
We in the third minute, I think third or sixth minute, and we sat back and we were like, just come beat us up, and that was not good. By the way, John, you getting a lot in the chat. John is quality. He's a good dude. Civility part of it, of course. Always good to see you, John. So for sure. So go ahead. Yeah, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think in that first game against us, you played into our hands. You sort of went back to sort of Parky's tried and testing. Okay, we'll be defensively solid. We'll sit back and we'll contain you. And it's just like, that may work against probably most of this league, but you can't do that again. We've got too much quality that you're going to give us 60+% of the ball. And I think, you only got to look at the teams I wouldn't say struggled with, but the teams that have given us the hardest games. They've tried to not necessarily compete to take the ball, but they've tried to do something when they've had the ball. They haven't just been content to say, okay, we're just going to sit back 2 banks of forward, defend deep, play in the counter attack. They've kind of said, okay, when we win the ball back, we've got to try and keep it for a little bit longer. Don't just give the ball straight back to us.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. You've got to throw punches as well as taking a few.
Yeah, because you get knocked out, and you guys knocked us out last time. You totally did. Yeah. Which by the way, my philosophy would be like, your best defense is offense. Yes, I understand like quality of players sometimes, but our best, I personally believe Parkinson makes mistakes because we give too much credit to other teams. We don't continue to stand the same front foot. We don't go for the kill. We don't have that instinct to go and do that. And I think that's a manager choice. But head and heart, by the way, Webby says 1-1. So, and that's your guy right there. So I'll take a 1-1 draw right now, but I'll also take a win. But I think it's a not lose. I think you said it really good a couple minutes ago. By the way, Aaron says, thanks for coming on, John. Also, hope your Thursday nice.
The feeling's mutual, my friend. Don't worry.
Yeah. So much for the civility going right out the door. All right, brother. We'll get you out of here. Just thank you for coming on, John. Says Bree from SoCal and Glenda Bercy. And Sarah says, love the civility part of the channel also too. John, we'll touch base before Thursday, but I'll definitely talk to you and hopefully listen. I'll wish you good luck on Thursday. Here you go. How's that?
I tell you what, let's hope for a good game and may the best team win, eh?
Absolutely. My God. Good to see you, man. All right.
See you guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon. All right. Thanks, John. Bye. That is Jon Merrell, the Birmingham City supporter. Great guy. Like really, that's what I love about it. Who do you support? Awesome. Let's talk. There's a lot of other stuff out there that just gets so crass and so BS, but he's a really nice guy. And Webby in the chat as well. And all of this is so really good. So, all right, listen, we covered a lot today. I know the thumbnail rumor versus reality, because we started out talking about the potential signing of Ryan Longman. We are going to do that, opened it up, and I knew that John was going to come on and want to talk about the Birmingham City game, which is great. And it's exciting time to be a supporter of Wrexham and for Birmingham City for that matter, and in League One, because we are doing great stuff. And it's fun. It's frustrating, but it's fun. I love the civility you created, Josh. And Esteban says no EOC. I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you're right. HUZ EV says 1-0 to Wrexham. And Tess says if we draw, we should be thrilled. I agree with you. Still a bunch of people. I did drop it in for people to come in and have their say with John, but it's all good. But by the way, Wigan scores. Yeah, Asgard scored. By the way. Listen, we are working through this transfer window, working through this January, working through getting to probably the biggest marquee game of the season for us, coming off a loss. I agree that it's not a must lose. It's not a must win, but it's not a must lose. And with all the stuff surrounding us, possibly Dalvin coming back, maybe they'll make the announcement tomorrow. He'll probably miss the game, but there's a lot happening. And if anyone said that League One wasn't interesting and fun, it's actually, hold on, I'm just saying, which is crazy. Championship's great, League One is great, but I just want to get out of this goddamn league. So by the way, Burton just scored, Wigan 1-1, and Peterborough up 1-0 too. So there's a lot happening right now in the league. 3 games that I can't watch any of them, but at least we're here together doing it together. Get out of here. Hold on a minute. No way. But Vartson scored for Burton Albion. John Daddy Budvartson. Guess who we played for last week? Played for us. And Budvartson scored a goal. Are you shitting me, Clark? Wow. Wow. John Daddy, right-footed shot from the center of the box, center of the goal. You can't make it up. Big John Stud scored. We didn't even get that one. We couldn't even get the Big John Stud out. Asgard and Budvartson scored. Budvartson, who we just let go and got 0 minutes. Why didn't we play him, says Paul Kelly. And Asgard scored on the other side of things. What is happening? Look at that. Look at that right there. Unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. Big John Stud scored. And That's hysterical, says Marie from SoCal. And why not? Why don't we play? I don't know. I don't know. My head is exploding. My head is exploding. I have no idea what to say. That is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe it. Wow. Esteban says John is class. Yes, he's good too. All right, let's get everyone out of here. Listen, lovely chat. And let's not go too crazy about the transfers. We'll stay grounded as we always are on TLP. You know, Thursday is going to be a big game. The transfer rumors are going to go up and down. We have a lot of great people in the Discord, in the chat. If you're not in the Discord, get in there. Please like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Grow the channel because Thursday is going to be a big one, but we have a lot more to do here too. And again, on the update, I met with someone this morning to get live rotating stats for the channel. And if it's up on Thursday, just be prepared. And it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to something I really want to do for a long time. And I had a great meeting this morning about it. So I'm really excited about it. And it's because of all of you that that this is possible. It's a great community too. A quick back shout out to Sarah Pritchard. I've been sedated, so don't bust my stitches. Very excited about Thursday. Sarah, we're here for you. If you need anything, please let us know. What a great part of the community, and please don't bust your stitches. But I will try to make you laugh. That's always fun. Please remember to like and subscribe, says Glenda. And what a pleasure for having me on. John, always welcome, my friend. And Webby, also too. Great to see everybody. And on that bombshell, I'll see y'all soon.